Hey, good morning. Welcome to Hobby Evolution episode number 130. It is a Tuesday morning, and it was a big Monday mail day. Everything shook loose on Monday. I do have an updated count. The first box, last week's mail days, I counted up everything through the weekend. The Cubs count is up over 520,000. So almost to 521,000 Cubs cards. My big box from David, the second box arrived yesterday. It had been stuck in transit for a week. It did shake loose, was delivered yesterday. So that's another roughly 3,200 Cubs cards. I'll get those counted at some point this week. So that was the only true Cubs mail date, but I had some other mail days. As you can see, this stack of boxes, well, you can just see the top of the box. But after I recorded yesterday, I was walking upstairs, and it's 7:30 in the morning. I approached the basement staircase, opens up to our entryway, and as I reached the main floor, out of the corner of my eye, I see somebody on my porch. It's the mailman at 7:30 a.m. on a Monday. Monday mail days are the best after the week. Yeah, Jenny, because people mail on Friday, Saturday, boom, on Monday. Some of this stuff though was shipped out beforehand, so it was, and I'll get to that in a moment. So I reached the main floor, corner of my eye, mailman. I jump, I'm startled. It's 7:30 a.m. The last person I expect to see on my porch is the mailman on a Monday morning at 7:30 a.m. He dropped a box. So the box was from my buddy Dave, who mailed out on Friday. Zach's with me. Good morning, Zach. So Dave helps out, and he lives in Western Illinois, where I used to live. Big Cubs fan, big hobbyist. He helps out with the local auctioneer company. They acquired a huge collection from a Chicago collector over the summer. And so he called me. He's like, man, this is an amazing collection. There was a 1933 Gaudy Babe Ruth. It was raw. They sent it to PSA, came back a 2, which is really good. Came back a PSA 2. There was a Gordie Howe rookie. There were some Mickey Mantles. And then there was obviously a lot of junk wax too. So he was kind of telling me the things. He's like, it's probably not going to go live until September, October, November. I think they acquired it in hand in June. So they got everything ready. It opened up the 1st of November. And it ended last week. So it was a 30-day online auction. And there was a lot of stuff that I wanted, that I thought I could get at a low price, but sometimes these auctions are crazy. And most local auctions that I've been to, it's wacky what sells high, and it's wacky what you can get for a steal. So, for an example, same city that I lived in had a sports memorabilia auction 10 to 12 years ago. And it was a huge St. Louis Cardinals football and baseball collector. Now, all of the St. Louis Cardinals, and we in Western Illinois, where this auction was held, it was probably only 3 hours from St. Louis and 4 hours from Chicago. So it skews a little St. Louis, but it's a university town, so there's a lot of Chicago. So, but the McComey homies, as we call them, they kind of skew St. Louis. So St. Louis Cardinals football, St. Louis Cardinals baseball. All of the Cardinals baseball stuff was going for like 2 times what it should have or more. The St. Louis Cardinals football stuff was selling for like the opening bid of $1. So fortunately, I brought my buddy Kyle, he's big into more memorabilia, and he's a huge diehard Vikings fan, big game used Vikings collector and seller. So he came out with me, and Dave. So the three of us were out there. So Kyle's my memorabilia guy, my jersey guy, game used stuff. And so he's like looking at stuff, and there's like a Jake Plummer, which is now Arizona Cardinal. Well, was probably Phoenix, Arizona at the time. So he's like, this is authentic. This is, probably at the time, $100 jersey. There was a Neil Lomax from the 80s. There was like one of those 80s vinyl St. Louis Cardinals football jackets. So I was able to get like a St. Louis satin vinyl football jacket, the Neil Lomax jersey, the Jake Plummer jersey, and I think a couple other things for like $10. And the Plummer jersey sold for almost 100. It sold for just under 100. The Lomax jersey sold for like 50. The satin jacket sold for like 40 or $50. And like a Cardinals t-shirt was selling for $50. It's just insane what some of these auctions, and you can find junk wax like by the trailer, and you can get it for like a $5 opening bid. It's insane what some of these, and I have family friends of ours run an auction in a little more north in northern Illinois. So I was asking them, the owner of the auction house, I was kind of picking his brain, like, hey, do you ever get cards? And he's like, oh, cards aren't, the cards are a hassle. We don't like doing cards. He doesn't like doing cards because they don't sell, because, online is the way to go. And, a lot of these auction houses are doing these online auctions. So I was able to get some good deals on stuff that I didn't expect to get good deals on, because some of the sales, like 90 Fleer, which I can go to my overpriced local card shop and buy for $5, was selling for 15 on this auction. Now, 15 plus there's a 10% buyer's premium, and you either have to go pick it up at the auction house, or it's shipped to you at, they're not going to charge you what you can get at the clerk. They're going to probably charge you twice as much for shipping. So I really picked and chose what I was bidding on, figuring in that extra 10%, plus my buddy's going to have to ship this stuff to me as well. So that was the box that arrived at 7:30 a.m. yesterday, and I'm going to go through some stuff. I'm going to look at the chat. Jenny says, mailman at 7:30, starting early. True respect to our carriers right now, not hourly, but rather by route. So if they do 8 hours or 16, same pay. Whoa. So I wonder if that's the same with UPS, because all of a sudden I heard this like loud, like race car yesterday afternoon at my desk, and I look out the window and it's a UPS truck just barreling down the street. So maybe it's a new driver, because I've never seen the UPS drive crazy in our neighborhood. So yeah, that's insane. No Joe Bugle autos. Neil Lomax, I think, was the only recognizable. Everything else was so the other stuff that I bought was, it was like a box of just random stuff. So there was like a trash can, like, remember those old metal trash cans with sports logos on? I had a Cubs one growing up. So I had a Cardinals football one in this auction, a beanbag chair, which I ended up, gosh, I don't even know what I ended up doing with that. I think I actually brought it here when I moved to Wisconsin. And when my wife and I moved in together, that was one of the things that had to go. So I think I donated. I think I just sent it to Goodwill or somewhere. What else was it? Just a bunch of random stuff. So there was some pretty cool stuff. I made quite a bit of money. There was an old Cabbage Patch Kid that was like, I think it had like it was like an Iowa Hawkeyes Cabbage Patch Kid. That sold well. There was a bunch of cans, like aluminum cans with like Fighting Illini, Iowa Hawkeyes. There were Michael Jackson Pepsi cans, which sold well on eBay. So it was fun. Zach has a Bulls metal trash can from childhood. Yes, awesome. So what I got, so I think it's not quite as big of a steal after I started looking at comps. So I kind of priced out. And what I do when I buy lots, especially vintage lots, is I assume $1 a card gross. So I can put it on variation listing on eBay, and sell them for $1. My net is about a quarter. So I figure about a quarter of a card, but there's some fun. Plus there's some Cubs that I'll pull for my own collection. Plus there's going to be some cards that will be, probably a couple dollars, a few dollars. So that's kind of how I view it. Some of the lots, and he had lots from like 65-ish all the way into the early 80s. And I think once he got to like the mid 80s, that's when it was like a mountain, like 85 to 91, just a mountain. And my buddy Dave like bid on all that stuff, and he probably got it for a couple bucks. We're talking probably over 100,000 of those cards. So I started looking back like the 82s, the 81s, the 80s, and I was interested in 80 because I've had a couple people inquire about 1980 tops for sets, and I just don't have any. I have very few 80 tops in bulk. So I was interested, but it went way more than what I wanted to pay for just to have them on hand. But then you go back into the 70s and there were some good deals. Even 77, 78, 79 was going for high. I did buy, and I think it's over here, but I bought a box of 800 cards from 1974 Topps Baseball. And I got that lot for $56. So I thought that was a good deal. I went through those last night. There was a stack of maybe 75 that were really beat up that, I'll probably throw on a 99-cent auction, and just let it go for a couple bucks. Brian, what's up? Good morning. But there was like a Lou Brock in that 74 Topps lot. So there was some decent stuff, and I'm doing well with the variation listings on 74 Topps, more so on the football side. And Ken and I were talking about that on YouTube chat last week. So I have another 800. So probably at some point in the next couple of weeks, I'll get those sorted. So $56 for about 800 1974 Topps Baseball, which I thought was a great deal. This box here on top, this is 1966 Topps. And I think there was about 100 to 200 in here. And I think I pulled the Cubs, but there's some rookies like the Braves rookies, not big names there, but a rookie cup of Cleon Jones, Pirates, Luke Skywalker, just Luke Walker, but nickname Skywalker, Jimmy Price. I didn't pull the Cubs because here's Randy Hundley, gold cup. So I got to set him aside. There were some stars, Gaylord Perry. This had more stars than the 74. Harmon Killebrew. Who else? Got a Don Kessinger for the Cubs. Here's a Yankees rookie stars. Bill Robinson, Joe Verbanek, Joe Pepitone. I met him a couple years ago. Funny guy. Kurt Flood. Gil Hodges, who should probably be in the Hall of Fame. So there's some stars in here. I'm trying to find Lee Elia, famous for his Cubs rant in 1983. Rusty Staub, the Astros. Willie Stargell. Who else do we have in here? I did put a couple aside. One's going off in a trade. So these are not listed. So these are the 66s. So then I did list some like Joe Torre, Don Sutton, Jim Bouton. Let's see. My least favorite announcer of all time, the worst play-by-play announcer of all time, Hawk Harrelson. Here's a Clemente. It's got a crease in the corner. Let's see. Bobby Mercer, rookie for the Yankees. So that's cool. No, there was not any Pudge. There were no Fisks. Let's see. These are 60s. No Carlton Fisk in the 74s. And then I think what I thought was the steal of the lot, and it probably still is, were 1965 Topps, the tall boys. And a lot of these are short printed. There are a couple stars in here. Daryl LaMonica's in here. Don Maynard. So Dave texted me and he said, they're all short prints. You got to steal, because I bought these. I think there's 34 total, and I paid like $36. So basically $1 a card for the 65 Topps tall boys. Most of them are in decent condition. Some have a little bit of creasing. Some are more beat up than others. But he said their short prints are all $12 to $50. And then I looked, and on the back of some of the, like the Don Maynard, they have prices on the stickers. There's stickers on the back, on the penny sleeves, and it's like on the Don Maynard, $50, 1965 Topps. Well, I think those were back at high prices, because when I started comping these, like the Don Maynard, in these conditions, $15 to $30, and comps are all over the place on these. And the weird thing is, so I'm thinking, oh wow, LaMonica and Maynard are going to be, $30, $40. And then the rest are commons, $5. But some of the commons, and I can't remember who. Oh, I remember one because the name was easy to remember. Billy Joe. This like sells for like $30. But on the back, on the sticker, it says 13. So it's a short print Billy Joe. So comps were all over, but still for $1 a card, a great deal on those 65 Topps football. And then I also got 2 of these. These are rack pack boxes, not sealed, but they are completely intact with the rack packs. 90 Topps. Now I did go through one box last night just to see what was top facing. And Jason on Twitter reached out, asked if I was selling any Ben McDonald or Bobby Bonilla top. And initially I have them listed on eBay, in my eBay store, for the full box. But then as I look through, one box alone, I looked through the one box had Greg Maddux, Mark Grace, and about 4 Ryan Sandbergs facing the top, and a Sean Dunston. So a part of me just wants to take these listings down and piece it out and just sell the rack packs on their own, which I can probably make more money. The box I actually looked at, there's a Ken Griffey Jr. on the top of one. So, I think that's a $20 or $25 pack on its own. I've got these listed for $50 shipped. I just need to make sure it's worth the while to break it up. But I think if I could get $20 for the Griffey pack and then keep, 5 or 6 of the Cubs packs, and then sell off a couple of the others, I think it's worth it. So I am I probably will break these up. I'll give it to the weekend. If they don't sell, then I'll have a little more time this weekend to break those up. So that's what was shipped. I bought some more stuff, but it's more bulky. I bought 2 uncut sheets of 1989 Topps. Unfortunately, I don't think the Ty Griffin is on either of the sheet. I bought $3 a pop for those 89 Topps uncut sheets. There was a bunch of about 20 baseball card magazines from the 80s into the early 90s. I bought those for, I think, $4. There was also a lot of oddball and food issue and cards from the baseball cards magazines. I don't know if the cards were in the baseball card magazines, as they are inside the magazine. So that's what I was banking on, but I figured for $4, there's enough content in those magazines to snap a picture and tweet it out. There's some good content in those old baseball card magazines. So even if the cards are not there, it's still worth it for $4. So all that stuff is bulky. So plus it would have to ship in separate because I'd have to pay for tubes, have him ship the tubes. So when I meet up with him in a few months, I'll just get that stuff. So bought all this stuff, and I think with the auction, with the sales price, the 10%, and my $20 shipping for the large flat rate, I think I had like $230 tied up in this stuff. So it's fun, and there's a few cards for the PC. I'll make some money back and have a good time doing it. So that was fun. So that's what came in the mail. My stamps from Carl Shook Loose. They were mailed out November 30th, priority, in a priority box, and they just arrived on December 7th. Same with the Cubs box from David, which only shipped from Elk Grove Village, Illinois. They got here yesterday. Those shipped last Saturday, so it took 9 days for that priority box to be delivered. And check out this hoodie. The 1989 WWF roster cartoon form, Jason Wolf art. I tweeted out his tag on Twitter, and you can check that out. I felt bad because there was a sponsored ad on Facebook with this art on a Christmas sweater. And so I tweeted the picture out and said, would you wear this? And it got a ton of traction on Twitter. A bunch of people responded, retweets and likes. By the time that I found out it was basically a stolen image, there was like 100 and some likes, several retweets, 50 to 100,000 impressions. Jason, somebody said that's stolen. It's Jason Wolf did the art. So he reached out. I felt terrible that this tweet got so much traction and he had zero credit. So I tweeted out the link. He sells merch on a website. You can get hoodies, t-shirts, masks, a ton of stuff. So fortunately I didn't buy the Christmas sweater. So I did, in a sign of good faith, I bought this hoodie from his website. I know at least one other Twitter follower went and bought 2 hoodies for his kids. So Jason did get some sales. So if you like this hoodie, check him out. Jason Wolf Art. And I think his tag is Art by Jason Wolf, and Wolf is WULF. So very cool. And this hoodie was only like $40 shipped, I think, which is a great deal. And it's really soft. This is going to be, I bought a 2XL so I can kind of swim in it, because I wear hoodies year round. And I love the comfortable hoodies. And this is the real lightweight. And it's got the soft, you can see the soft interior, very soft, very nice. A great winter hoodie. So check that out. Very cool. I love the art, and glad I bought this. And it was fast shipped. I just bought this last week. I think it took less than a week to arrive. So very cool stuff. So that's all I had today. Had today a lot of stuff in the mail, so that's fun. Check out the website, 1millioncubs.com. Still working on the blog post. Probably going to be another couple days before I get it finished up. 1millioncubs.com. eBay store link is at the top of the page, 1millioncubs.com. And also you can go straight there, 99centcards.com. And Twitter is at 1millioncubs. Got to find my mouse. Got boxes everywhere. Have a great Tuesday.